Hey, Julie. Good morning or good evening
Hello.
for you. How are you? How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Oh, good. How was your week so far?
Uh, I
Uh,
I will go to uh,
you're frozen.
uh I
Hey, Julie,
uh
you're. Uh, I
hello.
can't. Hello. I can't hear you well.
Hello.
Okay. Hello. Uh, how about your video is frozen. I don't know why.
Uh,
Okay, it's okay. As long as I can hear you, uh, go ahead and continue. I will go. That's what I picked up. I will go.
I will go to uh um uh uh I I will go to an ancient town tomorrow.
An ancient town.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's cool. Um, is that is that far away?
Uh no.
No, it's close to you.
No, not very far.
Not very far. Okay. How do you travel there? By car or do you take a train?
By underground.
Underground, yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, that sounds fun. Um, is is this the last like part of your vacation before you go back to school?
Uh, I will. I will play with my classmates on
Oh,
Sunday.
okay. Okay. And are you going back to school on Monday?
Uh, Monday. Monday. Mm,
It's coming up.
no, Monday.
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm asking you. When do you go back to school?
mm,
Today's the 19th.
uh, um, September the 1st.
Oh, okay. So you got it. You got another week and a half. Okay. All right. Are you finished with your homework?
Yeah.
Most of
No.
your homework? Not yet. Okay. So you still have some more.
Most of.
Most. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Well, at least you get it because I remember I know a lot of kids are canceling or they have been canceling a lot of their uh, day trips, because of COVID, and so they shut down a lot of places, and so that's good to see that you're able to do something on Sunday, go somewhere, and you know things aren't some things aren't closed. Yeah. Okay. Good. 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 Okay. Well, let's. Anything else? Anything else for you, Julie? That's going on?
Um, no.
No. Okay. All right. Let's pick up then where we left off last week. we kind of stopped here. This is the last part of this little section, and then we'll move into women in space. So let's do the vocabulary practice, and I'll have you read the passage, right? And then fill in the blanks of the missing words in 1 through 5, okay? Starting with a mission to Mars.
A mission to Mars would take at least a year, 6 months to get there and 6 months to return. This sounds like a long time, but think about it. People from Europe used to go on 6 months journeys to Australia by ship. What's more difficult than getting to Mars is living there. People who want to live on Mars will have to find water. They will need water to survive, and they would probably have to take it with them from Earth. But scientists think water existed on Mars in the past and may still be under the surface of the planet. So, in time, the planet might be able to have water again. This would then make people on Mars more independent from Earth.
Wow. Okay. I don't know. 6 months traveling in space just to get there. That would be, can you think about, think about it. That would be a long, long journey. And I know what they compared that to, back in the day when people used to, go on those big ships and have to sail for 6 months. But I don't know. I think there's just a difference. Even though you're on a ship, you're on Earth. You're not traveling. You're not traveling out of Earth to another planet. I mean, that just seems so. In my mind, for me, it's still hard to conceive that. To really believe that's a possibility. But I don't know. What do you think? What's your opinion? Especially the travel, the space travel, 6 months just to get there. And then if you ever wanted to come back, which I think would be the case, you would take another 6 months to come back. What's your thoughts on all that?
The passenger must be very strong.
Strong, yeah, that's true, and healthy, right? They would. I mean,
yeah.
if you were sick or something, I wouldn't. Yeah. What else do you think a person would have to have, as far as like maybe a character trait, in order to travel like that? Saying being strong, being healthy, and what else would you have to have?
They must.
I'm looking for a word. I want to see if you come up with it. If not, I'll share. But I just want to see if you can think of something. To travel that long, and remember, you're on a spaceship, so there's no, stopping for a break. Can we stop and get a soda? Can we get out and walk a little bit? So what else would you have to have?
They must adapt to the new environments.
Okay,
quickly.
yeah, I think that's a good one. Not being claustrophobic and having a lot of patience, because there's no getting off. You can't get off in between. Anyway, I just find that I couldn't do that. I wouldn't want to do that. So yeah. Anyway, let's go to the questions, and do number one and put the correct answer in there. Using the highlighted words, of course, the red ones.
Survive. Able to live on one's own.
Not necessarily. There's a better word.
Independent.
There you go. Independent. Okay, good job. That's okay. I mean, that I understand what you're saying. You know, even you know, have to survive. Well, that's what would happen if you were on Mars. You would have to survive. I don't know. Okay. Number two.
Surface.
Surface. Good. Number three.
Mission.
A mission. Good. Good. And number four.
Journeys.
Journey. And number five, your favorite.
Survive.
Survive, right? To stay alive, to be able to stay alive, you have to survive. Good job. Okay, let's go to the words and context and go ahead and choose the right word or A or B in the sentence.
A neighbor is a person who lives near you.
Yeah, number two.
A student of medicine probably wants to be a doctor.
Okay, and number three.
If a group of people spread out, they move away from one another.
Yeah, move away, right? When you spread out, you're going that way. You're not coming together. You're going out, spread out. Number four.
If we make advances in science or technology, we improve in those areas.
Good. And number
if
five.
Something benefits you, it helps you.
Good job. Okay. And then we see just where it says word link in and im equals not, right? That's kind of the prefix. What we have for like independent, impolite, impossible. Can you think of another word that we would use either an in or an im with? Just any random word.
Inaccurate.
Inaccurate. Good job. Good job. All right, let's take a look at the next section and take a look at where it says women in space. And I remember this lady here, Sally Ride. That's kind of back in my day when I was just growing up. Okay, discussion. Go ahead and read what it says up there.
The United States Space Shuttle program, which began in 1981, sent shuttles to space 135 times. This program was important because it built shuttles that allowed smooth landing and could make multiple journeys to space and back. They also allowed up to 8 astronauts to travel at a time. Shuttles missions brought supplies to the International Space Station, repaired satellites. Satellites and performed experiments in space. The last space shuttle mission was in 2011.
Yeah, 2011. Okay, and then so what would you say for number one?
What what are the advantages
Advantages,
of, of a shuttle over other spacecraft? Uh, mm, the a, sh a shuttle can make a lot of journeys to space and back.
Okay, okay. And also, how many people could it hold?
8 astronauts.
Yeah, they could hold up to 8. Okay, good job. How about number 2?
Why do you think the program ended?
Hmm. What, and you, I don't know if you'll pick it up or not. It's not really mentioned in that package, or in that package, in that passage, but this is gonna, this is, might have you use some, maybe some critical thinking. Okay, so we're talking 10 years ago. Okay, it ended 10 years ago. The last space shuttle mission was 2011, right? For 2021. So it ended 10 years ago. Uh, just just trying to think about it reasonably. Why do you think it would have ended? What is maybe one of the biggest reasons why something stops?
Mm, uh, uh,
And you can kind of,
it had
go ahead.
it had some accidents.
Well, that's true. There were, but I'm gonna take this around in another way. Do we hear of plane crashes from time to time? Do you ever hear about a plane crash, like a plane crashing?
Yeah.
Okay, so and that's devastating, right? People are killed, right? But does that stop planes from flying? Don't we still have planes every day flying everywhere? All different countries, all different cities?
Uh,
Do we still have air travel every day? Do we still have
yeah.
airplanes? Okay, okay. So that didn't stop air travel because we have some plane crashes. What other thing? What's something else that you can think of that may stop that space shuttle program from operating? What do you need in order for something that big to happen?
Money.
There you go. Okay, money. You need funding. Okay, so if there's no money, no ticky, no tie. I was an accountant. I'm an accountant. I'm a business major, and if you don't have money, things don't happen. Okay, if you don't have money, you can't buy food, can't eat. Right? You don't have money, you can't buy a house, you can't live somewhere. So yeah, so that's the most logical answer. And because the space shuttle program, I mean, it's important, right? It's important, but there's probably a lot of other areas that need government funding before a space shuttle program, such as helping, poor people that can't eat, that can't, they don't have clean water, they don't have, clothes, they don't have places to live. So, yeah, lack of money. Okay. And then number 3.
Who is Sally Ride? Why do you think she is famous?
Hmm. You can even read the sidebar.
Astronaut Sally Ride was an American physicist.
A
She was a
physicist, right?
crew member on Space Shuttle Challenger, launched in 1983.
Mhm. So,
Uh,
mhm. she was a she was that, but she was also, I don't know if you heard of this, but she was also, from what I understand, she was the first American woman in space. And I don't know if you know about this as well. I lived in Florida at the time in 1983, and I was living close to that area when the Challenger space shuttle took off and it exploded. She was one of the astronauts that died in that space shuttle. There was, I think, 7 or 8 people on that shuttle, on the Challenger space shuttle in 1983, and it took off, I want to say, from Cape Canaveral in Florida. And I was living close to that area at the time, and it was devastating because um, my at the time my husband was in the Coast Guard. He was in the United States Coast Guard, and their missions are search and rescue. And they had to fly. Well, they went to the area after the space shuttle exploded, the Challenger, and there were parts of that space shuttle hundreds of miles away. I mean, parts of the fuselage and I mean, everywhere. I mean, hundreds of miles away. And it was a real sad time for a lot of people in that area. Yeah. And that's it.
uh,
Yeah, yeah. But she was
I
one. Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
heard
You
of
heard
it
about it?
before.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was the Space Shuttle Challenger. And there was actually, there was another woman on the plane at the time. She wasn't an astronaut. She was actually a school teacher.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
do you remember that? Okay. Yeah. She was a school teacher on that shuttle as well. And I want to say she wasn't from Florida. I think she was from Texas. I could be wrong, but she was from another one of the states. I'm not sure. But anyway, like her whole class, she had a lot of her class, her students that went there to watch the space shuttle, take off, like a lot of people do there, in that area. And to see it go up and then within, a few seconds, with under a minute or 2 minutes, that thing just blew up in the air. And it was just, it was really sad for a lot of people. But anyway, but like that, stuff like that happens, and those are some of the risks and dangers of, um, going, being an astronaut. So, yeah. Okay, let's go to the next one. This one here says, while you watch what we're going to probably skip this one just for the fact that I think there was like a video that accompanied this part here, and we're not going to be watching that, so you're not going to know the sequence of how something happens. So let's kind of skip that one. Okay, so let's go to we'll start number 5, and this is called City Life. Okay. Have you ever seen this statue before?
No.
Never seen it like in any of your history books or anything like that? I'll kind of
No.
bring the thing down. No. Okay. That's in Brazil. This is in Rio de Janeiro. And it's a statue of Christ. Right? And it's supposed to overlook, it has its arms open and it's overlooking the whole city. And as you can see, there's a lot of people, a lot of tourists that come there every day to take a look at that. I've seen that many times. I haven't actually in person seen it. I'm in South America. I'm close to Brazil. Well, not that close, but close enough that I could fly there to see it. It's just COVID right now in Brazil is really bad. It's very bad. So I wouldn't take the risk of traveling there. No, it's not worth it right now. Okay. Um, this is a good question. Go ahead and read question number 1.
Why do you think so many people like to live in cities?
Okay. What do you think? This is just an opinion question.
Because the life in cities is convenient.
Okay. Okay. Here's a question for you. And I know you're still very young, but if you had a choice, do you think you would like living in a city or living in a country, like in the countryside?
If I have enough money, I want to live in the countryside.
Okay. Why is that?
Because the air in the countryside is fresher.
Oh, okay. Okay. That makes sense. Anything else? That's a good one. That's a good one though.
And it the life in the city is noisy.
Oh, good comparison. It is, isn't it? But when I talk to a lot of young kids, not just kids, even young adults, the early 20s and whatnot, a lot of them love cities because, cities offer so much. There's a lot of things to do. And like you said, it's convenient. There's a lot of choices. Um, and it's just a lot of energy, because a lot of people. But when you talk to older people, such as myself, uh, you prefer the countryside because it's quiet, and like you said, the air is cleaner. Yeah, there's not it's not noisy like it is in the city, and it's just peaceful, you know. Yeah. Okay, and I've
Yeah.
lived in both. I've lived in the countryside. I've lived in cities. Um, and both of them have their advantages and disadvantages. Yeah, but it's good. Okay. And what about number 2?
What are some of the world's most important
What
cities?
what what are some?
What are? Why are they
But
important?
yeah. What are some of the most important cities and why are they important? And this could be anything that you know of. Okay. Any city in any country, it doesn't matter. Um,
Important?
yeah. Why are they important? Maybe they offer something in that city that no other city offers.
Um,
And you can think of it, of anything. And try to make it close to your country, something that you're familiar with. Um,
um,
can you think of anything?
Um,
I don't know China well, but if I were to say something like, I'll relate it to United States because that's where I'm from. So why, what are some important cities in the United States? I would say New York City, Los Angeles, Dallas, Texas, Chicago, Illinois, Miami, Florida. Okay, why are those important? Well, a lot of them bring a lot of commerce. They've got, some of the best international airports for transport to get to other countries. Right? They employ a lot of people because of the industries they supply. Like in California, you have not just farmers, but you say Southern California, Los Angeles, you have Hollywood. That's where the acting comes from. New York City, the fashion, the food, Broadway, Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. That was the heart of the steel industry that produced all the steel for all the railroads. It employed a lot of people. So there's reasons why certain cities, are very important. So what I just said, can you make any kind of comparison like that in your country?
uh,
I know you have, I know you have Beijing, I know you have Shanghai. Those are probably very important cities. Can you think of why? Why are they so important?
Shanghai.
Hmm?
Uh,
And if you can't think of anything, that's okay. But that's okay. We'll jump to number 3 because this is also talking about your country.
in your opinion, what is the best city in your country to live in? Why?
Okay, so now you have to give me a reason.
Shanghai.
Okay, why? Why is that the
Uh,
best city to live in?
because um,
For
Shanghai is a modern city.
okay, so it's a modern city. Okay. Anything else?
And the life is very convenient.
The life is convenient. Okay, how's the air quality in Shanghai compared to Beijing? Which one's better?
Shanghai.
Yeah. Okay. So see there you go. But there, okay, now let's kind of bring that back to Beijing. Why is Beijing so important? Why is the air quality so bad there? What are they doing in Beijing that makes the air quality so bad?
Uh,
What is being done in Beijing that makes the air quality bad? What do they have there? Think, give me and think of just maybe even just a general term, just something.
I,
Something. Any idea?
I'm not very clear.
Not very clear. Okay. from what I understand, and once again, I've never lived there. I've never been there. But from what I hear, they have a lot of factories. Okay, so they have a lot of factories in Beijing. It's like the heart, it's the capital of your country, and it's just the heart of that city. There's a lot of things that are produced there, a lot of things that are made. So and that's a good thing, right? I mean, your country needs it. They export a lot of things, but on the downside of that, it causes a lot of pollution, right? A lot of poor air quality, but it also produces a lot. So you have a good and you have a bad, and you can't almost, sometimes you just can't have one without the other. So, that's kind of like another reason. I mean, we have it in the United States as well, but it's I can't say the lesser of two evils, but that's just what happens. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at global cities. We have a chart there that shows the icons on the left of the color codes of business people, media, which is like your news and journalism and things like that, magazines, entertainment, and politics. Okay. Take a look where it says before you read, where it says discussion. Go ahead and read that first.
Why do you think the city names are in different colors?
Okay. Why do you think that is? And remember, these are cities from all over the world. So it's not just like US or anything. We see the very first one here. What is this one? Can you see that? Beijing. Okay. This one here. What's the second one?
Toronto.
Toronto, right? So we know that's in Canada. What about and then with number 13?
Washington, D.C.
Yeah. Okay. And the next one underneath that one, number 12. It's San Francisco. Yeah, that's
San Francisco.
That's in my home state. That's in California, real close to where I grew up. Okay, San Francisco.
Oh.
What about number 11? Who's that? Can you see that one? Pretty real close. You almost got it. Brussels. Yeah, Brussels. Brussels. Yeah, and that's in Brussels is Belgium's capital. That's in Europe. Okay, that's in part of the EU, which is the European Union. So that's in Europe. That's a country in Europe. Belgium is Brussels is Belgium's capital. Okay, it's a city in Belgium. Okay, the next one. Number 10. Seoul. That's pronounced Seoul, Seoul, which is in Korea, right? Which is in Korea, Seoul, Korea. It's another country. And then we also have number 9. Sydney, where is that?
It's a city in Australia.
There you go. Okay, and then number 8?
Singapore.
And where is that?
Where? It's in Asia.
Asia, good job. And then number 7.
Los Angeles.
Okay, and where is that?
It's in
my home state. What state am I from? I just said it. Where San Francisco is?
California.
California. Okay. So we have Los Angeles and San Francisco that are in California from the state I was born. Okay. So it says we studied the charts. So why do you think the names of all those different cities are in different colors?
Because there are 5 different different signs.
Signs. Okay. What would you call those? Yeah, I see 5 different color signs, but what other word could you use to describe those 5 different things? You may not know the word, and not that there's one right
pattern.
word. A pattern. How about different categories, different subjects, right? Because you look at that, you see that it's kind of like doing the same thing. If I were to use those 5 colors and I wanted to put 5 different subjects in your school that you might study, the green one could be mathematics, the blue one could be English, the red one could be Chinese, right? And you know, the orange, you know, science or something like that. So it's by some different category, some different subject. Okay, so now we know that. So answering that question once again, why do you think the city names being Beijing, Toronto, Washington, D.C., and you know, all the way across, why do you think those are in different colors? Breaking it down like that, we see Beijing in green, Toronto in blue. What do you think?
The 5 categories have different colors, and the city's color is it's most
I think you know it. I think you're having a hard time trying to explain it. Let's try to make it even a little bit more, let's try to make it a little simpler. Let's take a look at Beijing, the first one there, okay? And we know that's in green. And we know green represents business, right? If you look at the icon on the left, green shows business, right? But if you look at Toronto next to it, which is in Canada, we know Toronto, the color is blue, and blue represents people. Okay, so knowing that, China, Beijing, business, Toronto, blue, people, how would you describe that difference then? What does Beijing have more than Toronto? Business, right? So there's probably more business going by the global index there. There's probably a lot more business happening in Beijing than there is in Toronto. But what does Toronto have that Beijing or Washington, D.C. even have?
People.
More people, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of like the difference of between all of those. And I'm trying to think if there's one, there's not. Which one out of all those cities is not very strong, is not very high? There's a couple of them. There's two categories that all those cities don't really have a lot of. And what are those two? What two categories? Looking at the cities.
Entertainment.
And
politics.
And politics. Okay, so those are the lowest ranking. Okay, but Washington, D.C. and Brussels has a high media influence in those cities. Yeah. Okay. How about question number 2?
In what ways are the top 4 cities similar to and different from one another?
What do you think? Let's move this down so you can see the colors.
What are the top 4 cities?
By looking at that, what would you say? By looking at the ones that are showing.
The 7th, 6th, the 9th, the 10th.
Yeah, exactly. And because I think that's how that's ranked. Okay. So if we took those top 4 cities, so we have Los Angeles, Singapore, Sydney, and Seoul. Okay. How are they similar and to each other? And how are they different from one another?
They have they have similar media.
Yeah. All 4 of those are real close with when it comes to media. And what makes them different?
So has a little people.
Little, okay. And a lot of that is probably because the country, is so small relative compared to Sydney, Singapore, and Los Angeles. Who has the most people? Out of those 4 countries, or out of those 4 cities, who has the most people?
Los Angeles.
Yeah, highly populated, a lot of people. That's because everybody's going to Hollywood trying to be an actress. No, not really. That's what I say. I'm just kidding. Anyway, all right. How about what about okay, this is kind of another opinion question. Number 3.
What do you think makes the top cities special?
And when we say top cities, you could take a look at all of those. Number 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, all of those. What do you think, in your opinion, makes them special?
They have many business and people.
Okay. All right. All right. This is a good one. Number B, where it says predict. Go ahead and read number B.
Which Which city or cities do you think will become more important in the future? Complete the sentence and read the passage to check your ideas.
Okay, so what do you think? Go strictly by that chart from what you see. Anything that you think out of all of those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, out of those 9 cities that are shown, which city do you think will become more important in the future, and why?
Beijing.
Okay, and why? Why do you think that city will become more important?
Because it has a lot of business.
Okay, and as a result of that, that's a good reason. There's a lot of business. What does what other area will probably grow?
People.
Okay, you think people will grow? And I mean, you have I see a lot of low numbers of people. We have media and entertainment, and even politics. You think all those other areas will grow as a result of a lot of business? Yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And you've got, I mean, you've got the largest country of people in general. So, I just think, they're producing a lot. That's why the air quality is bad. But I mean, but that's what happens. Okay, good job. All right. Let's the Global City Index. Let's see. Go ahead and read this one. That's fine. Go ahead and read number 1 where it says the Global City Index.
New York City is a star, the city of cities, wrote author John Gunzer. But why is New York or London, Paris or Tokyo a great city? To answer this question, the creators of the Global Cities Index looked at 5 factors: business, people, media, entertainment, and politics.
Okay, and so this kind of breaks down those categories, those different categories of business people, and it kind of tells you like what it measures. Go ahead and read business.
How many global companies are in the city? Does the city do a lot of international business?
Okay, and then people.
People. Does the city attract talented people from around the world? And the city's universities, or are the city's universities good? How many residents have college degrees?
Okay, and then in media.
Is it easy to get news and information from different sources? TV, radio, internet? How many residents have internet access?
Okay, and then entertainment.
Does the city have many entertainment options? Museums, sports, music, and different types of restaurants.
Okay, and then in politics.
How many embassies and international organizations are in the city?
Okay, so that kind of just breaks it down, like what they're looking at, and as we saw, like in Los Angeles with all those people. So there's probably a lot of people from around the world that are living there, which I think that is true. And just another one too, where it says the Global City Index on the top, where you read like why New York, London, Paris, or Tokyo, why they're all great cities. I have traveled to all of those. I've been to every single one of those. And out of all 4 of those, in my opinion, I think Tokyo is the best. It's just, I think it's great culture, really nice people, a lot to do, very clean and very safe. Very safe. Yeah. Have you ever been to Japan? Have you been to Tokyo?
No.
You haven't been to Japan? Okay. So, and the other cities are nice. I'm from the US, so I've been to New York many times, but, and I've been to Paris quite a few times too. But yeah, I mean, they're nice to visit, but Tokyo, there's just something about it, in my opinion. I really like it. Anyway, hey, let's stop here. I don't have it. I have another class anyway, but let's go ahead and stop here, and we'll come back to this part next week. Okay. Do you have any questions, Julie, before we go?
No.
No. Okay. So that means we'll just come back. We'll come back and pick up here next week, starting talking about future leaders. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And with that, hey, have a fantastic time on Sunday with your classmates.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Be safe. Mask up. We all do. Okay. All right. Good job today. All right. I'll see you next week. Okay. Bye, Julie.
Bye.
Bye.